Okay guys, here's a quick update on the Polygon Siskiu D7. I've made some mods and upgrades that I'll kind of run through real quick here. So it's a rainy day, I can't be outside to test it. So this is just an in-between video. My next video will be a ride update with all of the changes that I've made. So let's start with some of the basics. If you saw my last video, I was talking about making some changes I was planning on doing. So one most obvious one, I swapped out the stock saddle for a seat that I have a preference for that I'm riding on another bike. So it just feels the same to me, but the stock seat was actually pretty good. But I happen to like this one, so that is now on the bike. The next big change though is the bars. So the stock bars come pretty wide, which I believe are 780 millimeter. Which for anybody that's new to riding, that is a very wide bar, and it's more like the width that you would use on a trail bike or even an enduro bike. But they come that way stock because the manufacturer doesn't know how you're going to ride the bike, and they can put the same bars on all of those bikes across those models, but you can just cut them down. So I narrowed my bars by about 2.5 inches. So instead of being 780, I think that comes down to something like 745, maybe somewhere around there. And it's much better for my size. I don't have super wide shoulders. I don't have gorilla arms. I might even cut them down a little bit more. I might take off another 1/2 inch from each side. But I'm gonna ride it this way a little bit to see how I feel about it. The bar as it is now with this width is about 1 inch wider than my other main mountain bike, but that one's a hardtail and has less travel on the front. So I'm gonna see how I like this, see how it fits me. So for you guys that are new to riding, or any old guys like me that just got this bike and looking at it, don't know what to update next, that's an easy one. The way to cut down the bars is to use a tubing cutter. So if you have one in the house, great, you can use it on aluminum bars. If not, go to the hardware store, they're relatively inexpensive, and it'll be a great modification. You'll feel a lot better, you'll customize it to your size. All right, the next thing that I didn't do yet, but is on the list, is to shorten the cable length for the dropper post. So it comes stock, full length, so you have enough room to pull the seat post up if you're riding it higher in the frame. There's enough cable length to do that if you have the seat post sitting higher up in the frame. Mine is slammed all the way down because of the length of the dropper travel and my height. I have to slam the post all the way down, which means that I have extra cable running through the frame that is super long. So I want to tidy up the front cables. I don't need this far out. I can shorten it quite a bit and have it not flopping around and being, probably 4 or 5 inches too long. However, I didn't do that yet because the stock dropper lever is kind of a pain. I stripped the bolt that mounts the cable tightening. So the solution here is either I have to drill out that bolt and try to find a replacement, or just swap out the lever, which I think is just my better option anyway, because I don't like the feel of this lever. And I've seen on the forums that seems to be a common issue. This lever just doesn't feel good. It feels like it's gonna snap every time I use it. It works fine. It's not my preference. So I think that'll be the next thing. So I didn't shorten out my cable housing yet, because I can't get the cable out because of the strip bolt. So it's a little bit of a pain, kind of an annoyance with a brand new bike. But you get what you get here. We know what we paid for this bike. And some of the components are lower end components. And I knew that going in, knew I'd be upgrading. That was one of the reasons I bought this bike, because I wanted it as a platform to upgrade. Okay, the next big change here, part of it's sitting on the floor. I'm gonna swap out the gearing. I'm halfway through that update. I just changed the rear cassette. The stock cassette that it came with is an 1151. It's huge, and it's a bit heavy. So I got an XT cassette, which is significantly lighter, but it's an 1146, and the chainring is a 32 tooth. So to keep the stock gearing, I got a 30 tooth chainring, which the gear ratio for a 30-46 is right about the same as a 32-51. However, I might ride it this way first just to see if the gearing is low enough. If I swap out the chainring, I'll be giving up the high end on the gearing, which I kind of like. So I'll have to see where my compromise here is. Am I going to give up high-end gearing for the low range or vice versa? So I'm on the fence about it. I didn't swap it out yet. It's still sitting right there ready to go. The tools are right behind me to make the change. I put the cassette on, but that's where I stand right now. So ride update coming next. I can't do it today, it's pretty wet out, but I'm just in the garage making some updates. I figured I'd give you some updates here, guys. So if you haven't checked out my other videos, I have kind of an initial impression video. I have a first ride review video, and now I'll post up this one. The next video after this one will be a ride update with the changes, and you know, I'll have the bike for a month or so by then, by the next video comes out, so I can give you more impressions of the ride after having ridden it a bunch of times. So thanks for watching. If you're new to my reviews on this bike, by the way, I'm obviously not a YouTuber, I'm just a guy that rides, and I thought you might benefit from seeing a regular guy review this bike. I bought this bike. It is my bike. I am not a YouTuber, a reviewer. I didn't get this bike to review. It is mine. So let me know if you have any questions. I also have other bikes that I can review. In the background is my kids' Trek Pre-Caliber. I can review that one if you'd like. Do a walk around on another video. Let me know any questions in the comments. Thanks for watching.